Hello everyone. I'd like to share how we can simplify document report development. I'm sure any projects we do, there will be a document requirement to print out. It could be order or invoice. So every time we'll redoing the same thing again and again. And if there is a new format comes, again we have to develop it from the scratch. So the challenge is which is we need to redesign separately before and after posting, as well as the configuration option is limited. Let's say I want to change a certain specific date format, or I want to hide certain things based on the transaction. Again we need to do some customization. So since it is laborious work, we have to do it on each and every project. So let's see how do we address this using some simple concept. This I demonstrated somewhere in 2019 in Singapore Microsoft 365 Saturday session. So for the benefit of everyone, I just want to show it again, explain this how we can simplify it. So I don't want to go each and every slide. I will touch the key slides. Okay. So the idea is most of the document, if you see, we use the same information. So we format the company, we are going to use it for all the places. And some the document, maybe the header section or address section, we are going to show again and again in the all different type of documents. So basically these are different data layer split. One is a common data layer which is across all the document which you are going to use it, which is company information, and let's say the date format for all, and let's say the document data layer. Some it could be within the report itself, the data calculation, maybe specific that particular report and the presentation. So this is a high level. Maybe if I go further, okay. So the layout, what I would suggest, the template, the document definitely have a company information. Then there could be a document information. Then there is the address and line details and total. So we will just point it as like address 1, address 2, address 3. The information which you are going to feed it from our data layer, and the logo we are positioning here. So the document we just call it as document info 1, document info 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be anything. Let's say the particular customer want to change. Let's say document 3 we are showing as salesperson. Let's say they don't want salesperson, they want to change it to something else. We just play around on the data layer to modify the, instead of pointing to the salesperson, we can just point it to the another field. So we can just simply change the AL code, then it can dynamic. We don't need to touch the form level, the design we don't need to change, because the moment you change the design you have to adjust everything. And whereas the address, you just keep it as left and right address. So if the customer they want only the ship to and bill to, so you can ask them where they want to point it. Then you can change it in the code what should be the left address and what should be the right address. So we don't need to go and change it in the document level what it should be. So similarly the fields, whatever the fields line level they want, and the subtotal information. So if I look at my template, so I have one template called report template. I just call it as header. So it could be a purchase header or it could be a sales header. Let's say if it is some case I want transfer order, it could be a transfer order. Okay. Then so these are all the different fields which have company information. So when I design it, I will encode it as 1 1. So later I'll show you from the layout why I code it like this. Then additional company I put it as a 1 2. Then document info, I don't, rather than I pointing header dot the sales header dot salesperson or document number, I just put document 1. I don't need to, I'm not going to specify the particular table dot the field name. Okay. Then the banking details, then left address, right address, right. So each and every field I just use the variable rather than the specific fields. So in the same way, what I'm doing, the line information I'm putting as line info 1, all are variables. So some I explicitly specifying the currency code. Then we have the primary amount, secondary amount, because we will have amount in local currency and the transaction currency because of the localization requirement. And the caption also we are making it dynamically, and footer info, whatever the footer info. So all this when you look at it, I name it like this: 1,8, 2,8, then address 7,5, 8,5. Okay, right? So once I design this template, uh, so the data layer from the report header, so I will get the information. Example, I want sales header ship to. So whichever the report, the right address going to be my ship to address, the left address going to be my bill to address. So if the customer want to change it to sell to address instead of bill to some reasons, you can just play around here. So the left address you change it to the sell to address, then all the address will be calculated from the sell to address. So if I drill down there, again I'm using the standard format, whereas I'm creating a data layer which binds to this bill to address. Okay, right. So this is how I design the template. So anytime I need a new document template, I can just take this and point it to the respective table and make my data assignment. Rather than working on the layout, create a new layout, I use the same layout and do the amendments on the data level, right? So the another advantage is I do it for once before posting, let's say sales invoice, right? So I have a sales invoice here which got company blah blah blah, all these fields. So if I go to my posted sales invoice, the structure is going to be exactly similar. So only the table is going to change, and whereas rest of the layout information is not going to change. So advantage is, if I make any changes on the before posting, I can just copy the layout from the invoice RDL to this posted invoice. I can just replace it and play around on my data, which is easier. So most of the time I just play around on the backend AL report file rather than the RDLC file. So this way, which reduce, I design once, I just reuse it for after posting. So if customer they want exactly same as before and after, which is perfectly fine to use this method, so you will not miss anything. Just focus on a before posting and copy it, or do it in after posting and copy the information at the layout to the before posting. So which is applicable for all the documents, either it could be an invoice or a shipment or credit memo. So you can use it for all these scenarios. Okay, right. So then I do have one more table which holds the document format details. So the idea is, let's say I have a different document, then this is the place where I maintain my formats. Let's say I don't want as a tax invoice, I just want it as invoice, right? So I can just change it over here. Then I just want it like this, invoice number. Okay, then let's say instead of GST I want VAT or SST, so that can be changed over here. So whether to show the GST or not, we can hide it, show it over here as well. Then the company format also, each company they want we have to adjust every time. The email should be goes here, or the registration number should be there. So what I thought, let's just keep address 1, address 2, address 3. So whatever the format, the position they want, let it feed it directly over here. Rather than format it in the coding level, we just fix it in the layout level. So at line 1 is always going to be my name, and line 2 is going to be address 1, and line 2 address 3. So like this we can format it as well. Okay. So that is the purpose of this table. Also we can change certain parameters, like let's say if I go invoice, I can change the date format of and line date. Let's say line got some date, maybe this the printout, the voucher printout, we need to show the line, so that format you can change, and how the invoice total, all this should be displayed on the layout. Okay, so let's do some small let's run some report. Right, let's say I have a print sales invoice here. I preview. Okay, so this is the format currently which is being shown over here. Let's say due date right now it is in a bold. I want to change it to small. Then the same I need it for after posting as well. Anyway, we can do it, in the user also can do it, export the layout and do it. I want to show you how we can copy the layout. Okay, so what I'm going to here, I go to my RDL sales invoice, open externally. So here I'm going to, instead of this, I'm not going to make it as a bold, rather I make this one as bold. Okay, right, so I close this layout, and what I'm going to do, so before that let's run the posted sales invoice to ensure that it's capital, the posted sales invoice. I'm just going to be a long session, but I want to cover it as much as possible shortly. Okay, right, so I'll try to print one of the invoice over here. Print let's say print sales invoice. Okay, yeah, so this is capital and this one is small. Okay, so now we have done the changes in the before posting. I just copy this layout, then I replace it in my posted sales invoice. Okay, I have not done any changes on the report. I just replace it and publish it. So this is a small change, but if you have a more changes, like if you want to do the grouping, the line level, you want to do some grouping, or some more columns to be added and to be adjusted, then this copy layout, which saves you a lot of your time. I have been doing this for almost many years, which helps me a lot when I implement new layouts for my customers. Right, so let's go to navigate to posted sales invoice and try to print out one of the document, which is sales invoice here. Right, so you could see here this has become normal and this become bold letters. So I have not touched anything on the layout design, but it works in a way like copy paste method, so which saves a lot of time. Right, okay, so as I said, you can right, so I want to show you one more thing why I name it like this. Right, okay, so let's open one of the report again. I go back here. Okay, so what I'm trying to map here, okay, let's okay, this one I just put it aside and this one I keep it here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Alright, so let's take, so for example, company address 1,1. so if I go here, layout, export property, sorry, expression, so it is 1,1 means it is pointing to this, which is address 1. So if I go to 2, address 2, so if anything I want it in the document level, right? For example, document info 3, I don't know whether I use it here or not, let me see, expression, okay, 4,3, right? So this is 4,3, whereas this is the field which I am assigning. So if I want to see what I am assigning, I go document info. So I am getting the document info for order from here. So here I am assigning the posting date of this. right? So likewise I can let's say I want a new field. Okay, so this is what this is order, right? So this is order. So what I'm going to do here, let's say I have okay. Oh yeah, so let's say I'm here, I'm assigning header dot your reference. Okay, so I'll just ensure it is got 15 array. Okay, so I have 15 fields. So let's 7 which we are assigning as your reference, right? So here what I can do, let's copy this. Okay, so I go expression. Okay, so this is 4 comma 3. Then I change this 7 comma 3. Okay, so I don't need to, because I already put the get data set data for all the variables, so I don't need to go and look for that field and assign it. I just map it over here. Then if I look at here, so 4 comma 3 will be assigned. Let's run this one. This is sales invoice, right? Okay, so where I'm changing here, this is report template. Okay, not, I shouldn't change here. Let me go to the sales invoice and amend it, the or AL file. So I look for sales invoice, then document info. Okay, so 7 which should be equal to header dot your reference. Okay, so I save this. Okay, so let's publish this. Okay, so since I have a more variable I have created for document info, I don't need to add it over there. So similarly, you can, the template we can put the maximum fields, predefined fields, so that you can reuse it whenever you need. I don't need to go for the get data, set data and add it. Right, so now let's open one of the order. So let's mod some your reference. We are testing. I hope it should come. Let's see. So sales invoice. Right. So the format we have to do, of course. So the VR testing, it has come up. So after I do this, again I can copy layout to the after posting and just assign the variable in the data section. Then my report will be ready. So I don't need to do after posting. Okay. Right. Okay. So now let's go dive into the report, or the RDL report. How I designed this. Go to open XML. Maybe it's useful for somebody who creates a new report, the newcomers, the freshers who learn on doing it. Right. So it starts with always body section. I have a one table X section, which it is going to group by document 23, which is a document number. So each and every document we are going to create a new page. So that's why we need a grouping need in the first place. If you see here, between each instance, let's say if we run two documents together, we need to it should go to the next page. So that's why we have to define it in the primary table X. So if you have multiple combination, you can have one more grouping also over here. Then under this I have a one table section, the rectangle section. So the rectangle section is to keep it together. If you want to keep it contained to a single space possible, you can use this, or you can leave it blank over here. Then after going inside this, under the table, I have a few tables over here. One is for setting and getting the data to the header, because as you know, if you want to get some information, display some information on the header based on the respective document, The only way is we have to use this method code get data set data over here. So if you see here, I created many data sets because I'll be having more I'm creating more variables for future use. So let's say of document 3 I created 15. So but when I write it here, even though I am not using it, but I use all the 15 variables in this get data set data. So in this template, so that I can use any reports in the future without touching this part. Mostly this is sufficient to handle it. I don't think so we will have a more variables compared to this. Right. Then I look at so this is a company picture. Then company address section. Let's look at the document info. So when I look at the document info here, I put all the 15 variables. So here, remember I put it 15 3, right? All the document info start with 1 3 1 2 2 3 2 4. So my idea is when I assign the set data, so I'm going to assign under this particular data variable in this section, the data 3 section, so that I can just use get data based on the 2 comma 3 3 comma 3 or whatever, so which makes it easier, right? So this is how I assign all the header and footer information. Then if I look at over here, okay, so let's okay, so okay, I just want to show you the document. So when I look at here under the visibility, so I'm setting up the document info 3 value, which is this is nothing but the variable name of the the text box name which we define the document set. So I'm assigning under the data 3 variable, so that I can easily use it, like here I can easily use it like 7 comma 3 8 comma 3 whatever. So you just play around on the data set, you assign the data over there, the respective variable, and you can simply use the get data 7 comma 3. So you don't need to, you will exactly know which data field you are, which variable you are assigning it over here, right? So if I assign to 15, then it is 15 comma 3. Let's say if it is for a bank, right? If I assign to bank 9, so if I put get data 9 comma 4, then whatever I assign to this variable, I will get it in my report, right? So likewise the whole section of the header works as well as the footer works. Okay, right. Then if we go further, this is the details. Okay, so I go here. So this is the detail section. There is no group which has been added over here. Okay, right. So all this information which I assigned like line info rather than direct field, I always use this method. But maybe you need to do some formatting, then which makes it easier to in the presentation level. So likewise footer also you can play around as well. How do you want to show the information? Let's say if you have more bank details you want to see, or you want to add up, so you can assign it all this variable and utilize it, right? So design the template with more fields which can help in future for reducing the formatting the layouts easily. So no need to care about the get data set data, because this is always confusing one. We will miss something, then it's very difficult to troubleshoot and find it. So using this approach which makes easier to control it. Okay, right. That's all I want to cover it up. Hope it is useful. Then I did one more thing for the receipt voucher, because that is always the customer want to print before posting, and after posting also they want to print the same information. So sometimes it is not we don't get the exact details because after posting we may lose certain details, right? So for that, what I did, I save the information whenever you post the transactions from the receipt or a payment voucher. Let's make some payments. For example, let's see. Oh, this is a cash receipt, so it should be a customer. Then let's say I want to receive from payments. Okay, right. So here I could print the report, the voucher. Right, so I will print the voucher, which is so I have not applied to any document. So this should be minus, right? So because we are receiving the payments, so it should be O minus. Okay. So if in case, let me see whether I can apply any invoices as there to apply. Home apply entries. Okay, don't have any document. Let's see. Clear. Anything called open document over here. Okay, let's take this customer. 544. Okay, 544. Okay. Right, so I delete this. I'm going to apply entries. Let's apply this. It applies to ID. Close this. Okay, let's say I'm going to receive this. I will print the voucher. Alright, so it nicely comes out all this information. So what I do whenever they create a document, I also store it under the table called voucher list. So here it will store like what invoice is being applied. If it is a GL account, then I do store that information exactly at the time of the transaction is created and posted, right? So doing this method, so now I printed and everything, right? So printed voucher. Let's say I do the posting of this transaction. So let's post this. So I copy this, post. So while it is posting, I want to show you the voucher report as well. So I'm using the one single report for both before and after posting. So right, so because I'm storing that information, so whenever I generate I have to have two reports, but layout can be reused. So here, if you see, I use a similar approach, template approach. I have a company address, details, documents, line, left address, right address. If I have, I use it. Otherwise, I can leave it. Then line details, which is going to be the applied invoice details. So now you see, I just assign it to the line info, get voucher line info. Then I can just use the fields in the layout. Then header details, same way. So get voucher header or document info. So here I assign which fields I want it. Document. So using this method, I just put 4,1, 3,1, whatever, right? So I can use it in my layout. So it is posted. Now I go to navigate, find entries, find. Because the reason the Business Central cannot show exactly after posting, because the moment you post it, we post the transactions USD, but after it posting the final amount in LCY only. If you print the standard report, you will be seeing like that. So to avoid that, we store that information as in a separate table. Then when we can print the voucher. Where is my voucher? I have to put it somewhere. Show history, function, incoming document, other, print. Why it's not showing? Print voucher. Okay, maybe somewhere it's hidden. Let's print voucher. Then print. Okay, need to. Why it's not showing this? Somewhere it is hidden. How come Okay, never mind. I just filter the voucher to print voucher. print voucher. So I put document number here, preview. Alright, so I get exactly what I posted before, then I can print it from after posting as well. Right, so this is how I design for the voucher. So it's also useful. If you store that information, or even if they don't print that transaction, when I post the transaction, I automatically store that details. Let me try. So I post this. Okay, so if I go to print voucher list, voucher list, the table which I have, voucher list. Yep, so I do have here two which we just posted with $100, right? So this is unallocated because I have not applied anything, so I can also print from here. Okay, right. So this also helps because a lot of customers want the voucher. So I use the same for after the payment voucher also. It is not just the same report. I use it for payment journals, right? So it's a payment journals. So the same report I use both report print voucher, the same report. Let's see how I use this one. So I identify whether it is journal is a payment journal or receipt voucher. So the document type which defines, so if I look at my document type, document format which we are choosing it is P voucher or all voucher. So basically here if it is receipt, then it will caption be receipt voucher. If it is P, then it's a payment voucher. So let's say you want different captions, whatever you want, you can just change it in the design over here, then it can show that details. It might be all the fields are not applicable, but what are the fields applicable, you can just make use of it and show it in the report. Alright, okay, that's all I want to show you. Maybe in another session I show you how this document grouping works, and from the scratch how we can design it and do the multiple groupings to show it the line level. For example, line level you want to group it, or based on certain parameters, we can see that. Right, thanks for watching. So did I miss anything? So here we got yeah, so format, yeah, that's all. Right, thanks for watching.